Hello everybody, welcome to my tutorial for how to draw a guinea pig. I am going to be using Crayola colored pencils, an HB mechanical pencil, so you can just literally use any pencil you've got, just normal basic pencil, and just an eraser. Here's a triangle one, it's a white eraser, any eraser you want is totally fine. And the most important part of this is my how to draw a guinea pig guide that I made. And I'm going to be using that to lead you through all the steps today. You can download that in the link below. There will be a coupon code to get it for free for a limited time as well. That will also be in the description. So make sure you check that out. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Step one is to draw just a basic shape here. So it's going to be an oval, but it will have a bump up at the top because that's where the head will go later. So just draw yourself an oval that is a little bit taller at like the top right. So you're going to want to draw this very lightly. In fact, all of your first steps will be very, very light. So there you go there. It will be a little flat on the bottom as well. Keep that in mind. So draw a shape like this one here on the screen. I'm going over it a second time here just so you guys can see it a little bit better. So this is your shape here. It also kind of looks like a beanbag chair, doesn't it? Step two is we are now going to make basic shapes for the head and then for the ears. So we are going to think to ourselves, how far is the bottom of the head from the base of our jelly bean? I'm just going to call it a jelly bean. And it's about that far up. That's where the chin of the guinea pig head will be. Now we're going to draw a shape that's basically an oval, but it is a little bit flat on the bottom. So just some curved lines on the side. Moving it up and around, and it will hug in really nicely to that little bump that we put in our jelly bean or our beanbag chair in that first step. That's where the head will go. We're going to now draw the ear shape. So this is a rectangle in a way. And the one on the right is going to be more of a triangle. So just planning out where you want those ears to go. I decided I need to bring my head in a little bit from the side there. Great. Now we're going to do step three. So step three is to find the facial center line and the eye line. So our face center line is going to start above the head, and it's gonna go through the face and down towards the bottom. It's gonna be a curved line because guinea pigs' heads are not flat, they're more rounded, right? So it needs to be curved to go along with that. We'll now go ahead and do the eye line. This is also going to be curved, and it's gonna go in the middle. Later, we'll go ahead and place our eyes on there. But that's good for right now. Let's move on to step four, and that's our feet. We're just gonna draw little jelly beans on the bottom of our guinea pig for where our feet will go. We're only gonna see 3 of them. We'll have one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right. Her other back foot, or his other back foot, I don't know what gender this guinea pig is hidden from us from this angle. Moving on, we have the eyes, the nose, and the mouth for step 5. We'll go ahead and start with our left eye. It's going to go right on top of our eye line. That's why we made the eye line. Now, the eye that's going on the right side is going to be a little skinnier. More of an oval shape. As things go back in space, they get smaller. And with the perspective of our guinea pig, the right eye is further away, so it's smaller, much like on this turtle here. Notice that the center line would be right in between the eyes, and as the center line moves forward to the right eye gets smaller. Compare the right eye to the left eye. You'll notice that you can see the left eye more. So we're gonna do the exact same thing for our guinea pig. You can draw two little white circles, or draw two circles in between those, and those can be left white for a little eye shine. It's really cute to do that. We'll move down the center line and put our nose in, which is just kind of like an open smiley mouth, a D that is turned on its side. And we'll put a smiley underneath that as well, also right on top of that center line. We can go ahead and start working on our markings now here on step 6. We'll start with the marking on the bottom, and we'll start at the top left of our guinea pig and draw a line going down and then back away again. Now, of course, your guinea pig can have any markings you want, but these are the markings I decided to do. So a nice little wavy spot back there, that will be brown. I think I'll do another marking in the middle. So I'm going to start at the top and make a triangle type of shape. Going down on a curve, of course, because just like how we talked about our curves will be the best type of lines to do for our facial center line and our eye line, the same reasons go for why we want our markings to be curved, because we're drawing things on a curved item, or a curved animal in this case. So we don't want the lines to be straight up and down. Anyways, that's going to be a good spot for me to put some tan fur. Right behind the head, I'll make another marking. And I'll have this one wrap around and go up towards the middle of the head, or the middle of the chin, I should say. There. I think that will be really cute for some more tan fur. Next, we can do a patch on the top of the forehead. Something like that, I think will look nice. Almost like he's wearing a little hat. The fifth marking that I'm going to block out is going to be for the nose area, the center of the guinea pig face. I want to leave a white patch there. So I'll start making a triangle and the top of the facial center line. And I'll move it down in a wavy sort of way down to the chin. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It's going to not be perfectly symmetrical, but somewhat. Let's look at our turtle again and talk about how on the right side of the face, not only will our eye be smaller because it goes back in space, but so will the marking. Let's pretend this paper clip is the white marking. Notice how the right side of the paper clip, when we move the turtle, looks like it's closer to the center of the turtle face than the left side of it does. Turning it to the left does the opposite. So, for this reason, the right side of our white patch will be smaller, it will be thinner, and it will be closer to our center line. Not by a lot, but it does need to be thinner somewhat. So a wavy line going down for our white patch there. We'll color the rest of the face other than that white spot, brown and tan, when we get further along. Let's do one more patch on the right side, just by doing a little line there. So here we have 6 patches. And that's step 6. Go ahead and erase the guidelines for step 7 from the face. Those lines that we did in step 3, we can get rid of those. Just the center line and the eye line. We're done with those. They've served their purpose. Next, what we'll want to do is add texture to this, because right now with our lines being so smooth, it's almost looking like a very smooth guinea pig, and guinea pigs are furry. So to make our hair look furry, we're gonna do zigzag lines. They aren't gonna be perfect zigzag lines, they're gonna be very imperfect. I'll zoom in to show you. So I'm just going back and forth from left to right. And I'm going over these lines that I made for the markings in step 6. So you can go ahead and do that too. You can draw these very lightly still, because we are going to go over the whole thing with color. These are going to serve to guide me when I go to color later, and they'll help direct me in what direction to make my pencil strokes in. The direction that the fur is going, that's the direction that you want your zigzags to go. I think I sharpened my camera a little bit so you can see a little better. I'm going to go ahead and do this with every single marking. Just making these furry type of zigzag lines, but they don't, they're not perfect. Like I said, one zig might be bigger than the next zag. And up and down. I'm almost thinking about it in a way where if I was petting this guinea pig, what direction would I be petting the guinea pig? If the hair is going from the right to the left, that's how I would pet the guinea pig, and that is how I am going to therefore draw my lines. Like this. That's the direction it's going. If the hair was going up and down, I would draw it up and down. So this is what we call directional shading. For the third marking, as it gets closer to the bottom, you want your zigzags to start changing direction, all right? So it's going to start more going in an up and down motion versus left to right. And under the chin, you're gonna wanna go left to right even more drastically, like they're almost horizontal lines, okay? And then underneath that, you're gonna wanna follow the curve because there's a little bit of a calic in the guinea pig. So they'll be a little wavy. And we'll get more into that when we actually start coloring. Alrighty, it is time for the top of the head here. So we are going to give him a cute fuzzy forehead, and we're going to just do some more of those really easy peasy zigzag lines. On the right side, we are going to have our zigzags pointing towards the top right corner of our page. And then on the left side, they'll go to the top left. And now I'm going to do some little fuzzies for the right side of the face as well. So we're using these smooth guidelines that we made in step 6, and we are just going over all of them with some fuzzies. Let's fuzzy up our center marking here. Going towards the top left and then more towards just the left side of the page, and then we're going to be moving down towards the bottom left. And it's going to be the exact opposite on the other side. So our zigzag lines are facing the perimeter and going towards the perimeter of the page, or the outside of the page. Let's do some little fuzzies on the cheek, around the eye, and some fuzzies that are going to be overlapping the ear on the left. The right side of the face will also have some fur lines. And we'll have some fur going over our right ear too. These little zigzags are giving us texture. We'll have some zigzag lines that are going over top of our jelly bean feet as well. Now we're just going to go along the outside of our guinea pig with some little short hairs. And we need to do this mark too. What I'll do now is I'm actually going to go through and erase where the smooth lines from step 6 are really showing through. You can do this with the back of your mechanical pencil as well if you have an eraser on the back of your mechanical pencil. I've already used all the eraser on the back of mine, but I've got extra, so I can show you with one of my refills. So either way works. Just these small little eraser marks splitting up the fur. Now it's really starting to look nice and fuzzy, and we don't have any of those smooth lines showing up. Okay, once we're starting to get those smooth lines really disappearing there, we'll actually go back in with our pencil and add some more of that fuzz back, because in the process of erasing the smooth lines, we might have gotten rid of some of our fuzzy spots as well. So we'll just go in and overlap and trace and get those textures to come back a little bit more. Filling in those spots. And if we come across any really noticeable smooth lines, we can just go back to our eraser and erase them. Alright, it is now time to color. Great job with your sketch, you guys. the first color we're going to use is tan. This is going to be for the middle, or marking number 2, marking 3, and marking 6 for me. Now, that being said, you can of course choose any color you want. You can have the markings be pink, or purple, or black, or a light brown. But for me, I'm gonna go ahead and start with this nice tan color. It's almost like a yellow or a yellow ochre. We're gonna color in our middle triangle here, or marking number 2, as I've been calling it. And the way that we color is going to be really similar to how we did those fuzzy zigzag textury lines in our last step there. You'll want to have your color markings, your strokes, your pencil strokes here, and the movement of your pencil to be very similar to the guinea pig's hair or fur. So each line will be like the same distance. So guinea pigs have pretty short hair, so you don't want the brush strokes, or the pencil strokes in this case, to be super long. You want them to be relatively short, just like it is in a guinea pig. And the direction of the line matters too. You can pretty much just follow those texture lines that we made in our last step as a guide for filling in this section with pigment or color. So it's going from the top right to the bottom left of the page. We can move on and do some tan for the forehead on the left side. This is gonna start in the middle and work towards the top left. Think about it as well as if you were going to pet the guinea pig. Which way would your hand direction move? It would go with the hair. It wouldn't go against the hair. So you're gonna color in the same way. We can have a couple tan patches next to the right eye as well. And around the right eye, I'm also gonna put some tan there. That'll be really cute. It'll start towards the eye and move out towards the outside of the face. I'm also putting some tan on the top of marking number 6, which also happens to be the bottom right chin of our guinea pig. Some more tan patches on the left side of the face will look really cute. I'm gonna have these curving more down. If you're having trouble deciding what direction you want the fur to go, you can check out the reference image that I've included in that how to draw guide, which is at the bottom of the video in the description box. Underneath the chin, we have some more tan. So watch the direction that I take my pencil marks in, and if you need to pause the video, then you can do that. But I'm following just the direction of the fur. Curving up and down. This patch down here is the hardest part as far as the directions go, because the guinea pig has a calic, so it kind of does some wavy spots, and some of it's going up to the left and some's going down to the right. Whereas when you're just doing like the back of the guinea pig, it's all pretty simple. It's just going from the top right to the bottom left. It's pretty easy to understand, but that little spot right underneath his bottom chin, or his left chin, is a little bit trickier to explain, but you can just watch the video, of course. As far as the face, the fur starts in the middle and goes out towards the outside of the face. I'm adding some more tan here on the left side. And I'm also doing it on just the back of the guinea pig, so the top. Kind of bridging that gap between the middle triangle and the face. The bottom right of our guinea pig is going to also have some tan section. I'm starting towards the bottom and wisping my pencil up this time, going around this curve with curved brush strokes, or pencil markings, excuse me. Little patch of tan on the bottom left as well, on the bottom of the booty. Now that we've finished with the tan, we can go ahead and get out the brown. Leave your tan out in case you want to add more layers later. Let's pick out a nice brown. That one's a little bit light, and I'm looking for something darker. Okay, this one will work perfectly. Let's start with the bum of the guinea pig and add brown to that section. That'll be our first marking that we did, marking number 1. Let's add some brown towards the face now. So starting at the left eye and swooshing our pencil up. And with these curved lines going around and around, we'll make a nice cute brown patch. On the right side of the guinea pig face, we're actually going to start at the white patch this time and work our way out towards the right side of the face. Working the brown pencil on the right side here, and I'm leaving a nice white patch on that cheek too. So just blocking that out and continuing on down with the brown. Moving to the left side of the face, let's add some more brown patches. Basically anywhere that's still white on the left side, I'm filling in with brown. Now we can fill in the eyes with a black colored pencil and leaving that white spot white. So remember how we did a little tiny circle inside of the eyes? That part's gonna stay white and it's gonna be a cute little like shine mark there. So let's just outline that so we don't forget about it. And we're gonna go around and fill this in. Now what I like to do is I like to make the outsides of the eyes a little bit darker and then the middle like a lighter black, so a gray, and then get darker again as it gets close to the middle. So just to make a little bit more three-dimensional, but it can be flat too. That's totally fine. Just color the whole thing black. So we're leaving that little white spot, and that works too. So let's color this. Go. Alrighty. So do you see how it's a little darker on the edges of my eye, and then it gets darker like on the inside too, and then is a little bit lighter in between those values? That's just something I like to do. So you can do that if you'd like, of course. Same thing for the left eye. Well, I guess it'd be the guinea pig's right eye, but left for me. Going in with an eraser because I kind of got in the white spot of that eye. An accident. Right, here we go. Clean that up. Alright, I think that looks really nice. Okay, let's go ahead and find a nice color for our nose and our toes. So a pink or a peach or light purple. And we'll start with the nose. Color that in there. And then the little line that's gonna go from the tip of the nose down to the smile. Oh, so cute. It's a little happy guinea pig. We can get our pencil out here actually and draw the toes before we start coloring the toes in. So you'll just start at the left of the jelly bean and go down and up and down and up and down and up, and you'll do that for each toe. So you go down, around the toe and up, around the toe and up, around the toe and up, and that's how you make the little toes. Just like little tiny jelly beans. So get your pencil nice and sharp, and on the right side of each toe, add some of that pink pigment there. Pigment being colored. On the right side of the toe, right side of the toe, right side of the toe. There we are. One more foot left. Now let's get out our gray. We're on step 13. We're going to do some shadows now. You can also technically use a black colored pencil and just do it really lightly. But I'm gonna go ahead and use this gray color. Let's start at the top of our guinea pig and have some nice gray fur that just swoops down into the guinea pig's center line, like the middle of the guinea pig. It's getting lighter as it gets closer to this middle spot here, so middle on a horizontal. Her in there. And do you see how it looks more three-dimensional now? We're gonna do the same thing at the bottom as we did at the top there. So all of this is going to have this curved fur, these pencil strokes starting at the toe here and going up, swooping up, 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 and it's going like around. So a slight curve here to this. And just go in there and continue adding those. And the further it gets down to the bottom line of that guinea pig, the darker it's going to be. So you can push down a little harder on that colored pencil when you get towards the bottom there. If you push down harder or add pressure, it's going to be a little darker. You can also make things darker by adding layers. So going over it and over it and over and over again, that's going to build some value as well. Now, speaking of building value, we're going to actually have a really dark area right here. So start at the top of the left toe and curve up, and that's going to give us a little separation here between the like the back of the guinea pig and the front of the guinea pig. Okay, back to our shadows here. I'm actually getting the black colored pencil out to help me build some of that value, because that gray colored pencil, you can really only go so dark with it. Getting that gray back out, I am going to do some more shading here. Right in the center of this white space. So see that little white space there? In the middle of that, I'm gonna add some gray fur. It's not really gray fur, it's white fur, but the light is hidden from it, and so it looks a little darker because it's in the shadow. Anyway, it's gray fur for what were you doing. Gonna pull that down and also add some gray fur above that front foot there. And under the chin, of course, we'll have gray fur, because there's pretty much always a shadow cast by the chin. So it'll always be a little bit darker under the chin. Not always, but 99% of the time. Also, the top of our white patch on our face, and the bottom of the white patch on the face, and around the little nosy nose. See, it's starting to look more three-dimensional now. Add some up here. Moving on to step 14, you'll want to use a dark tan. With the Crayola set that I have, I don't really have a tan that is like a step darker than the one I'm using, so I'm gonna actually just use a light brown color, and that's gonna serve the purpose for my dark tan on step 14 here. So we're going to add some dark spots of the tan fur, just like we added dark spots of our white fur. The dark spots being the shadows or the shading. So adding some light brown to our yellow is going to get us a darker yellow or tan or whatever you want to call it. Add some brown to the top left of the guinea pig head as well. We want to fill all this area in. Bringing that in to marking number 3. gonna add some of this light brown on the edges of marking number 3 here. That is in the bottom left sort of section next to the chin. And then some shading next to the white patch in the middle of the face. That would be super cute right there. And really, I just want to fill up all of these sections that are for color. I want to fill them up. I don't want any of those white spaces of the paper showing through. So I'm going to use this color I picked out for the shadow to help me accomplish that. We're essentially, in a way, mixing our colors. Like, you mix paint. Like, if you mix a light color with a darker color with paint, you of course get a medium value. Well, you can mix color with colored pencils too. You do it by layering. So as we put our light brown over that tan, it's becoming like a dark tan. Okay, let's add a drop shadow as well, by the way, underneath our guinea pig with the black colored pencil. I just did it on the camera there. I'll let you guys go ahead and do that. Alrighty, and on with the next step. So I've got a dark brown pencil here, and I'm going to be using it to add some shadows to all the brown sections of my guinea pig. So as you see, what I just did there was the top left of the booty with the dark brown. And then I'm going to work on the forehead a little bit, adding some darker browns. And I'm even going to bring the shadow down around the eye, kind of working into that middle section. That's a white patch. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that. That's looking good. Let's add some dark brown to the top right of our guinea pig there. That is looking super cute. So we've got lots of different values going on. It's looking more realistic. We've got dark brown, we've got light brown, we've got tans, all sorts of good stuff. Let's get some dark brown in the bottom cheek here, because like I said, I think it's gonna look really cute with the contrast if we have the center of the guinea pig head nice bright white, and then we've got all the different colors around that like nose patch and forehead patch there, and in between the eyes. I think that's gonna look so cute. Okay, let's see, moving up to the top right of the forehead, I'm adding more dark brown. And even maybe getting some brown into the eyes there. Just layering and making these values really pop as much as I can to add a lot of contrast. It also helps our artwork look more three-dimensional if we have a variety of values. If we've got dark values and light values, that's going to give a real sense of three-dimensionality. Moving on to step 16, we are going to erase those drawing lines. That's right, we do not need those pencil lines anymore. Now, that being said, it's definitely understandable that there will still be some pencil lines even after we're done going through and trying to erase them all, because once you put colored pencil over your normal graphite gray pencil, it kind of locks it in a little bit. So we're not going to be able to get rid of all of it or anything like that without erasing all the colored pencil first. But what I mean is, if you see any of that gray pencil line, just go through with your eraser and lightly rub over it and erase it, because we really want to see the values in this. We don't want to see a whole lot of outlining going on. It's all about color here, and it's all about the colored pencil versus the graphite. So just going in and kind of getting rid of that is going to make it look nice and cohesive and more finished and more polished and